Hi everyone in Church Central, Rich here, just coming into your timeline for a moment to help us reflect together on the sad news that we'll all have been hearing about our Queen Elizabeth II, passing away yesterday on Thursday afternoon. I'm here not to assume that I know how you're feeling about this. I'm here not to try and make you all feel exactly the same way about this. Some will be impacted hugely by this news, and others it will feel a little bit less relevant for. But as disciples of Jesus across our churches, we just felt it was important to shepherd you towards three particular practices at this time that we want you to lean into, whatever your starting point on all of this stuff is. Firstly, we want you to pray. Could you please pray at this time for our nation? Whether you're from the UK or from further afield, it's a time of change in this country, and so please pray for the country. Please pray for our King. We are called in Bible, commanded in the Bible to pray for our rulers, and so we have a King to pray for. Would you pray God's blessing and wisdom for him? We're also called to give thanks in all circumstances, and maybe you want to spend some time giving thanks. And we're also called to pray for those who mourn and who grieve, and we can ask God for his comfort to those people. And so we're going to give some space for this in our Sunday meetings as well, but want to encourage you as disciples to be turning to prayer. Secondly, encouraging you that you can process. Some of you will have some difficult emotions and thoughts coming up around this stuff because it's big news, it's shaking news, isn't it? It's unsettling news. And maybe if you've experienced grief in your life, it might be linking in with all that and it can be a bit tricky. So just want to acknowledge that and say there's no shame in that at all. If you want to reach out to a friend or perhaps to your small group leader or to someone in your church leadership, just to say, it'd be good to talk about this at some point, or I'm feeling not so good about this, could we have a chat? I want to encourage you that there's full permission to be processing this experience together. And lastly, want to plead with you really to be those who prefer others at this time. I recognise that, as I said, for some of us, this won't be impacting us in the same way it is some of our friends or family members for whom it's a really big deal. And that's okay, but also recognise that we're not called to be selfish or to look at things through our own eyes, but we're called to prefer the needs of others. And so this is a moment, please, Church Central, for great care, great gentleness, to ask those questions of how are you processing this? How are you finding it? Maybe you even want to reach out in a text or cross your street and knock on a door of someone who you know perhaps will be experiencing this as a particular blow. Why don't you prefer their needs and go and be gentle and kind and loving and compassionate to them? Let's be the followers of Jesus in this moment. There'll be more space to reflect on Sunday in your church. And if you've got any questions, please do reach out. But sending lots of love. See you soon.